Where's Bobby? Huh? Missing Bobby?
Bobby, Bobby,
No. No idea. You can't be.
Bobby,
Where's Bobby? Stop speaking. Bobby. Rufito. Have you seen your brother? Bobby.
Bobby,
Bobby. Bobby.
Bobby,
Bobby.
Animal manures break down very fast. Nutrients easily escape through leaching or evaporation. They should therefore be stored properly if not incorporated right away in the soil. The most potent part of the manure is actually the urine, which is richer in nutrients than the solid part. By the way, did you know that not all manure is acceptable in ecological farming? Manure of animals not raised according to ecological standards is out of the question. Manure from commercial pig farms or raised with feeds adulterated with copper. The same kind of thing goes with cattle and chicken manure coming from commercial farms. We only use manure coming from animals fed with natural feeds, free from treatment with antibiotics, hormones, and the like. Let's take a closer look at different kinds of manure. We start with cattle manure, which is a relatively hot manure. It breaks down fast, releasing nutrients faster and emitting more heat. As a result, the compost pile heats up faster, thus accelerating decomposition. Cattle manure is a balanced manure. It is a nutrient supplier because it contains sufficient amounts of all major elements. For instance, its nitrogen comes in the form of protein, ammonium combinations, and ammonia. And the manure contains a wealth of trace elements. Cattle manure is also a soil texturizer. It adds a considerable amount of good humus which prevents nutrients from washing away. Fresh cattle manure can be worked in on the land for crops that can stand fresh manure, such as cabbage crops and cucumber crops. These should be worked in 3 to 4 weeks before planting. A note of caution: fresh manure may contain nematodes. Fresh cattle manure can also be processed in the compost pile. Well-decomposed and well-digested cattle manure can serve for about any crop. Horse manure is a dry, hot manure. It is much hotter than cattle manure, which in turn is hotter than chicken manure. It is therefore a very good manure to make our compost pile cook and hasten the decomposition process. Like most animal manures, it is rather low in phosphorus and potassium. It should therefore be combined with other sources of phosphorus and potassium, such as, for instance, composted banana trash, wood ashes, and the like. A good idea is to add horse manure, and any other manure for that matter, to our compost pile. The more varied the organic materials, the richer our compost. When fresh manure is mixed into the soil, we should allow it to cure in the soil for a fortnight before planting. When manure is already 2 months old, it can be used right away before or during planting. That is so because horse manure decomposes fast. It is advisable to use rice hay or rice hulls as floor cover in stables. It easily absorbs the liquid part of the manure, which is rich in nitrogen. It can in this way be incorporated into the soil. The same can actually be done for cattle manure as well. A third type of animal manure is chicken manure. It is a cool manure. That means it does not give off much heat as it decomposes. It is rich in nitrogen and phosphorus, and to a lesser degree in potassium. Of all animal manures, it is the most concentrated in nitrogen, having the form of urea that breaks down into ammonia very fast, because the digestive system of a chicken breaks down food very rapidly and intensively in a process closely resembling inorganic chemistry, producing dung that is practically mineral or synthetic in composition. Diluting chicken manure in water is therefore inconsistent with ecological standards. When doing so, nutrients dissolve instantly, thereby taking on a similar devastating effect on our soil, soil life, and plants as synthetic fertilizers do. The same effect also takes place when you apply uncomposted chicken dung to our soil. The nutrients found in this dung still instantly dissolve into the soil moisture. In ecological gardening, we therefore always compost our chicken dung. The compost process converts the free nutrients into less soluble forms. Chicken manure has a high content in salts that burn plant roots when fresh. That is why certain farmers call it a hot manure. The fourth kind of manure is pig manure, which, like chicken manure, is a cool manure. It is especially rich in liquid. Manure coming from commercial pig farms is definitely out of the question. It is likely to be polluted with copper coming from commercial pig feeds. Manure coming from pigs raised in a natural manner can be considered, but it is not really ideal for compost making, and it is certainly not ideal to use as fresh manure. Its smell is generally more disturbing than that of other manures. Recommendation: pig manure is best used as raw material for the production of biogas. Biogas is a mixture of methane and carbon dioxide. It is produced by the bacterial decomposition of pig manure and other organic waste for that matter, although pig manure is ideal for this process. In this manner, the pig manure gets cured and lends itself better as addition to our compost pile.